What's good, everybody? My name is Stax Rigatoni, and I will be co-hosting Season 5 of the FDL alongside Mr. Carne Asada. Give it up for him. Yes. Our new commissioner. This is going to be the intro video to Season 5 of the FDL. Before I get into it, I just want to say a big thank you to Tetris. We all respect all the work you did to build this. I think we can all agree that like all of the community that we have made and the friends that we've made in this community wouldn't have been possible without Tetris, you know, and his vision and everything. So Tetris is out as leader in case people didn't know. Carne will be the new leader. We do not wish to upend what Tetris has built, nor do we wish to replace his role. Instead, we're intending to maintain the spirit and success of the old FDL while making some changes both to how leadership works and to how this league itself will function. If you see me looking back and forth, it's because I got like a little outline script type thing. There's no way I can remember all this shit by myself. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into what we are playing this season. In case anyone was unaware, this is a cart VGC draft that follows VGC rules. A draft works in that each person will select a Pokemon, which takes that Pokemon out of the pool and then ping the next person in line. You will play a 7-week season of best of 3 VGC matches in a top cut, which I'll explain later how that works. So just an overview for how a draft league works in case people don't know. So big announcement, the format, I mean, all of y'all probably already know, but the format that we're playing, we're doing a custom format with custom terror rules. What that means is the format will be Regulation A++. This is basically a format that's been played on like limitless tours and stuff, but not official. It's essentially like if you took all the Regulation F Pokemon, or Regulation G Pokemon I should say, subtract all the legendaries, all sub-legendaries, so your stuff like Moltres, Urshifu, all that stuff, and subtract all paradoxes, and you're left with like the home Pokemon, the DLC 1, DLC 2 Pokemon that aren't legendary, so like no Ogerpon, no Loyal Trio, no Loyal 3 or whatever they're called. It's essentially like the Regulation A rule set, but with like the full decks, and then like the Pokemon that were in Regulation A, they'll get their DLC moves and everything, so like no worries about your Rillaboom not having Grassy Glide, for example. And for our Terra rules this season, we will be using low tier Terra captains. How this works is that after the draft is over, you will be able to select 1 of your C tiers and 2 of your D tiers to be able to use the Terra mechanic. I believe it works out to where you'll have around 5 C and D tiers total, so it'll be like 3 out of 5 of those Pokemon will be able to Terra. So yeah. And then, but it's not like free Terra, like they can't use any Terra they want. In fact, the Terra that they'll be able to use will be a known commodity to your opponents. So how it works is that upon conclusion of the draft, we will post an announcement for each draft to start declaring their Terra captains and their Terra captains Terra types. You will post in the draft channel each of your Terra captains Terra types, which will be 1 stab and 2 non-stab types. That goes for every single one of your 3 Terra captains. 1 stab, 2 non-stab. None of your other Pokemon will be able to Terra. If a Terra is used by one of your other Pokemon, it will be a game loss. It will not be a full match loss. It will just be a game loss. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Also, if you bring multiple Terra captains to a match, yes, you can bring and Terra separate ones. So like, I don't know, let's say you have Magneton as your D tier and I don't know, Honchkrow as your C tier or something like that. If you bring both of them to a match, obviously you can't Terra both of them in a single game, but yes, you can Terra one in one game and Terra the other in the next game. So yeah, you'll be able to do that. Yeah, we're hoping this is like a new way to play for us, for many of us, I think. We're hopeful it'll be a fun experiment and a fun new way to play the game. If you still have any confusion about how this is going to work, please message me or Carney. And that goes for like any questions you might have about anything. Just reach out. Like, we don't want confusion to like turn into frustration or, you know, frustration for your opponent, stuff like that. Just please let us know if you have any questions, don't know how anything works. Into the draft and schedule. So The draft will be tweaked slightly from previous seasons. Before this, the wheel split us up into like 3 or 4 draft pods, and each pod would have a separate draft. But this season we're doing things a bit differently, where there will still be like 4 pods, and they'll be split by the wheel, but there will only be 2 drafts. So think of it like conferences in a sports league or something like that. Each conference will have their separate draft, but then those conferences will be split into 2 divisions that will play their games together. So yeah, like 2 divisions per conference. Each conference has their own draft. So say for example, like you take a Pokemon like Goldango, probably going to be one of the best mons in the format. So I'm going to assume it's going to be selected in both drafts, right? There will be 2 Goldangos taken total. 1 in each conference, but then like only 2 divisions total will have a Goldango, if that makes sense. So as for the schedule, we'll be playing round robin. Under the event that we don't have 32, which I believe we have around 28, 29 people right now. If we don't get to 32, then we'll probably play like 1 cross-divisional game per person or something like that. But full schedules will be posted at the beginning of the season, which is something new. We're not going to wait to release the schedule every week. Yes, you will have your opponents ahead of time, all of your opponents. But please try to play each match within the week that it is scheduled. Don't play your week 6 match in week 3. I mean, we will allow that under like special circumstances if absolutely necessary, but like please try not to do that. And then as it worked last season, the top 4 in each division will be eligible for gold finals. I don't think we're going to have like 8-person divisions. So like the next 3, 4, however many it's going to be, will be eligible for silver finals. So yeah, I think the way the numbers work out this season, pretty much everyone is going to be making playoffs. It's just that the top 4 of each division is going to be making the gold playoffs, which is more prestigious. And yeah, you may choose to opt in or out of finals. Both finals will function as a single elimination top cut tournament, and a new champion will be crowned at the end of each finals. So yeah, onto the draft itself. As usual, the draft will be a slow draft. You'll have a 12-hour timer to draft. If you don't make your pick within the 12 hours, that the last person, like the person before you made their selection, you will be skipped. I think you'll be, how we do it is like, I think you'll be able to just make 2 picks once your next pick is up. So yeah, I want to say that I understand we are all busy people with lives, but please do your part in making sure that you're available or knowing when you're up to draft, and being at least somewhat prepared with a plan. You know, nobody likes someone who holds up a draft. Not just kidding, but really, I will call you though. That is a promise. If you hold up a draft, I will call you. That is a promise. Anyway, the draft will be a snake draft as it was before, you know, so that means once each round is over, the person who started will be the last pick. The person who ended that round will be the first to pick in the next round. So like if you pick last in round 1, you'll pick second in round 2, last in round 3, first in round 4 again. I think I said that right. Did I fuck up there? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I hope that made sense. You will, and the way that we draft is going to be the same. So you'll first make your tier picks, and you'll have 2 A tiers, 2 B tiers, 2 C tiers, and 1 D tier to make, and then you'll get into your points picks. You have 250 points to choose from, 4 Pokemon. A tiers will be worth 100, B tiers 75, C tiers 50, and D tiers are 25 points. So yes, you have to make your tier picks before you make your points picks. Points picks will start around 8. You should end with around 11 Pokemon, exactly 11 Pokemon total, and no more than 250 points used in your points picks. You can make your picks within the tier picks or the points picks in any order, so you don't have to start with an A tier or 2 A tiers, 2 B tiers. You can start with a D tier if you really wanted to. And that same goes for the points picks. You can start with a C tier, D tier, whatever. When you're up to draft, please do all of the following. Firstly, make sure that you have the ability to select this Pokemon given your current tier and point restraints. If you do not, if you're in round 7, right, and you have like a D tier left to draft. Don't take a C tier. Your points picks are not up, bro. You do not get 3 C tier picks. You get 2 C tier picks before your points picks. So take a D tier. Take your, make sure that you have the ability to select the Pokemon in the round, given the points that you have allocated, or given the tiers that you have available left on your team. Secondly, put the Pokemon that you wish to draft in your pod's respective drafting channel and ping the next person. I will show a demonstration video of this going on, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. And then thirdly, go to the drafting document, move your Pokemon on your draft's respective drafting document onto your team. Please do this, because what ends up happening a lot of the times is people don't do this, and then other people think that the Pokemon that were already selected are still available. So then we get double selections of the same Pokemon. We can't have that happening, guys. It's 2024. Come on, we gotta get our shit together. All right, guys. So yeah, we just don't want people selecting Pokemon that are already taken, essentially, is the reason for that. So yeah. And then last thing I'll say is the draft tiers have been structured around low tier Terra Captain. So I don't want to hear any complaining about if something in B tier looks too high. It's just think about what that mon would look like with Terra, okay? Please don't come at me. Oh, and I'm sorry, but I am too broke to be buying people pizza for having the fastest draft. Bank account's not looking great right now. So if this disappoints you, just message me privately, and I will post this image of myself with your Discord profile picture above my face. Like, that's I'm sorry, y'all, but that's what y'all go get. Alright, so here I'm gonna show you how to do the drafting. When you go to draft a Pokemon, that's how you gotta do it. So, we're gonna assume I am making my first overall pick, and I want to select Staraptor. I'll check that it's available in the document, which it is, of course. No one's going to take Staraptor in the first round. No, it's crazy enough to do that. So yeah, let's say I want to take Staraptor. It's available. I would go here. Just going to use this channel because it's what I have available to me. We haven't created a drafting channel yet. So I'm just going to go here. Say the name of the Pokemon, and then tag the next person in line, which I would say is Carney. And then I would press enter. I'm not going to press enter right now because I'm not actually drafting, but let's say I did, and then I move Staraptor. I'm going to Control X, Control V, Staraptor. You can also just move it, I think. Yeah. Same thing. Doesn't matter. Just make sure it's off the document. So yeah, that's how you draft. Very easy. I do need to mention that Torchic Bot will no longer have integration within our server. Izzy decided to pull that, unfortunately. I know a lot of y'all depended on that. So, yeah, that's going to be a big change for some of you. Twitch bots and Discord bots, I think, are the best alternative. Mitsuki has a Discord server and also a Twitch channel going at all times. I will post links for all this stuff. There's also a couple other ones that I know are widely used, like Johnny Canal. I think I've heard of Barry Chindev, but I've never used that one. And I'll post a demo. I'll have a demo going of how to do the Mitsuki thing as well. Because I think Mitsuki is the most accurate one. Johnny Canal, like, it'll be quick. You won't have to wait in queue lines, but it's pretty inaccurate. I haven't tried Barry Chindev or any of the other ones. I don't know if any other ones exist. Mitsuki is the most accurate. You're gonna get the Pokemon that you are requesting 99% of the time. But always double check regardless of which bot you use. And also, I want to say that Mitsuki does have queue times. I think it's like 10 minutes between, like, if you're not subscribed to Mitsuki. So I just recommend using your Twitch sub on the bot. That's what I do. Or sorry, your Prime sub on the bot if you have one available. Yeah. Also, because Torchic bot is no longer going to be a thing, and like people might not want to spend money, I anticipate people just like holding their matches up because they're genning and they're waiting in queue lines and all that type of shit, or like they're using a bot that isn't getting their mons correct. Please try to do genning like well in advance, or just like have a plan, or just be secure in knowing that you're going to be able to get your Pokemon on time with your match, because you know, just please be considerate of your opponent is what I'm trying to say, basically. Oh yeah. Also, please don't try to build your team on cart manually. It's gonna take way too long between like building the team, like planning and everything, and then building it in game. That shit is gonna take you a long time, my friend. You're not gonna have any spare time. All right, now I'm gonna show you how to use Mitsuki. So this is also pretty simple, and there's directions below here if you want, but I think it's just easier if someone describes it to you. So I'm gonna do that here. What you want to do is first set a code. I think there might be some registration process you have to go through first. If that is the case, then it'll be listed down here. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. So what you want to do first is you want to set your trading code. This will just be what you join the link trade with on your Nintendo Switch. So set code as a command, and then just do whatever whatever code you want. It'll delete your message. Oh, you got to use 8 digits. Okay. There, cool. It deletes my message. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, and then what I want to do next is I want to do trade SV. So then I will go over here. Let's go to Showdown. This is like the same as like a PK Hex thing. I've customized all of this. So, I've done a nickname on this Pokemon. I've done item, ability, 4 moves, EVs, IVs, obviously perfect, and Terra type. Default Terra type is normal, so I'm not gonna show me like actually trading for the Pokemon, but it'll, Mitsuki is accurate. I trust that it would be accurate and everything. So right here is where things are gonna differ if you don't have a Twitch membership or you don't have like a subscription to Mitsuki. If I paste this, it's gonna take me like a minute or less to find or to be able to join the trade. But for people that don't subscribe, it's probably going to take you like 3-4 minutes or something like that, and then you'll be waiting in queue lines for 10 after you make the trade. So yeah, keep that in mind. But if I paste this, it'll tell me that my subscriber trade has been accepted. I'm first in line, so it shouldn't take long. Again, I'm not going to show me trading for this mon, but all I'd have to do is once it tells me that I'm ready to trade, I would just go into my game and I would boot up with the trade code that I inputted and trade like a fucking Magikarp or something. I don't know. So yeah, it's pretty easy to use once you get used to it and everything. So just waiting for it to tell me that it's ready. It shouldn't take too much longer. But yeah, there we go. Cool. And that's all. I would just again go into my game, trade with Mitsuki, and yeah, get my Pokemon. On the transactions, the transaction system is completely overhauled this season. We are not doing free agency week. There's no free agency week. You will not be getting a week off this season, okay? There's no break. You get no breaks. Anyway, so how transactions are going to work, I think, is I'm not okay. So at this point, I'm not sure if we're doing a deadline. I don't think we are, but we'll make an announcement at some point if we are doing a deadline. But how transactions are going to work are every week you will be able to either swap with the free agency pool or trade with another person, and that will count as a regular transaction. You will have 4 regular transactions to make throughout the season. Once you make a transaction, it will not be in effect for that season or for that week. It will be in effect for the next week. So keep that in mind. We don't want you making a change to your team and then having your opponent this week expecting you to bring a completely different team and you bring something completely new that they weren't expecting. We're not doing that shit. So yeah, when you make a trade or transaction, it goes over to the next week. The same concept applies for Terra transactions. So we will have 2 types of transactions this season: regular transactions, which I just described, and Terra transactions. How Terra transactions work are they will constitute either a change to your Terra captain's Terra types or a changed Terra captain. So like if you change the Terra type, anytime you change a Terra type of a Terra captain that you have, that will count as 1 Terra transaction. anytime that you change your Terra captain to a different Pokemon, that is a Terra transaction. You have 4 Terra transactions, 4 regular transactions. And in the situation that you want to like drop your Terra captain from your team, pick up a new Pokemon and either make that a Terra captain or make another Pokemon on your team a Terra captain. That will count as both a regular transaction and a Terra transaction. So yeah, 8 total transactions throughout the season, 4 regular, 4 Terra. Hope that made sense. Oh yeah, just if you do attempt to use a new Pokemon that you picked up in the same week that your game is, you will probably end up getting a match loss. So don't try that. Reporting is going to be working slightly differently. It'll essentially be the same thing, but we'll just have a channel that you post your reporting your kill reports in and stuff like that. I should say match reporting. It's not kill reporting because you're doing more than just the kills. We want you to do like the opponent that you played and in the week that the match was in, because if we're gonna be having everyone posting their reports in one channel, I would have expected to get a little bit messy. So please just be considerate in like putting the week that the game was played and putting your opponent, and then all of your Pokemon that you brought, the kills that they had. Again, I'll have a video going for this to demonstrate. Another thing I want to mention here is, you know, I think some draft leaders required their, like last season, required their people to post like theirs and their opponent's stats. I did not require that. I just had everyone send their stats. So if it's going to be working differently for you this season, or just like in general, just please communicate with your opponent whether or not you're going to post their stats. If they expect you to post their stats and you never communicated that you were going to do that, then like I'm going to have to hunt people down for their stats, and I don't want to do that. You know, that gets frustrating, that gets annoying on me, so please be considerate with that. Also, to just go over how kills work for people that are unaware, in this league they're a little bit funky because any death basically caused by a singular Pokemon counts as a kill for that Pokemon. It'll be your standard stuff like taking out an opposing Pokemon, but it also includes taking out your partner due to side targeting or side spread damage. It includes feigning to recoil, life orb, or self KO moves like Final Gambit or Memento. That counts as a kill for the Pokemon that used those moves or took that recoil. And then lastly, if a Pokemon dies from residual damage such as Poison, Burn, Curse, Fire Spin, Sand Tomb, Whirlpool, etc., the Pokemon who applied that status will be credited with the kill. Same goes for Perish Song. Any kill that occurs due to Perish Song will be attributed to the Pokemon that used Perish Song. If 2 Pokemon use Perish Song at the same time, I don't know how that works, y'all. Also, that should never happen. Stop using Perish. That shit is annoying. Anyway. Oh, also, I think I mentioned like a change to leadership earlier. It's just that like we're gonna be just having a council. We won't be having a singular dictator. I mean a singular leader, you know, doing everything behind the scenes. We're just gonna be having like a multitude of people doing things to create more equity in decision making and having people's voices heard and stuff like that. So yeah, and as far as that works for the rest of y'all, like constructive criticism is always welcome. If you have an idea for something that might improve the league, or if you have any concerns or anything, just reach out, let us know. I don't know if those roles have been assigned yet, but they will be. So yeah, we'll surely experience some hiccups with all this transition in leadership, in the format that we're playing and everything. So like, please, again, just like be communicative if you have any problems or anything like that. Just some other house rules I wanted to mention. Weeks will start on Monday morning EST and end on Sunday night at midnight EST. So you must play your match within this week unless you have had a match extension approved by a council member. Please, if you think you are going to need your match extended, tell someone. Do not just like schedule with your opponent to play on like Monday or Tuesday and then don't tell anyone, because don't do that, please. This shit is annoying. Yeah, that might result in like losses for whoever. Please don't do that. Be communicative. Next, please maintain the previous game rules that were used and are still noted in the server. I think there's like a game rules little channel in the server with regards to disconnecting and assisting streamers. I am not going to track you down if you are found assisting a streamer, but be aware that by doing so, you are putting them at risk of receiving a match loss. I really don't want to have to do that. Truthfully, like, I don't want to have to do that. So please don't tell streamers how to play the game. You know, like, I know I've done, like, low-key done that a little bit, you know, not anything crazy, but, like, you know, we're all guilty of doing it at some points, you know, like, it just happens, but just try not to. Just double check yourself. Next, please send a DM to me with your team name and color. If you wish to maintain your team name and color from last season, just let me know. And then a big thing, just, I think I've kind of like alluded to it a lot, but please be respectful to your opponents and to this league. We are all here to have fun and play Pokemon, play a children's game. So yeah, we will not tolerate hate speech or slander of any kind. And if you personally feel like you have been unfairly targeted or disrespected by someone in the league, please reach out and we can handle that accordingly. So yeah, thank you all for listening. I'm hoping for an enjoyable draft and season as we transition to a new format and new leadership. I trust all of you, but please do your part to make sure this transition goes as smoothly as possible. Many things will be different and it may take some getting used to for all of us, but with everyone's help, I know we can have a strong season. I appreciate all of you. The wheel stream should be up next, and I'm excited to find out what our pods are going to be. Good luck and happy drafting.